John Jones.
Bro, imagine how much doper UFC would be if they quoted Shakespeare.
No. Give me an example.
Dog, it's just like
Give me an example.
Imagine like Conor McGregor coming back and being like, and he's not sure if he's gonna win. He's like, to be or not to be, or how does he talk?
He talks just like that. Yeah, no,
Like,
that's how.
who the fuck is that guy? Right? To be or not
To
to
be or fucking to not to be? That is the fucking question.
fuck is that guy? And then the crowd's just like, oh, and he's like, whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. You know what I mean? It's that shit will be lit, fool. And then the UFC,
poetic as fuck.
the UFC music behind it, dude. And then it's like, you know how they did like the Mayweather,
Spotlight.
they did the Mayweather fucking multiple nights, or the same with Aldo. They did the Aldo like all over the country promotion. He comes back out, he's like, when in disgrace with fortune in men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state. He's like contemplating life the whole time, dude. Bro.
That's something you can do right there, too,
Holding
though.
the skull and shit.
Yeah,
UFC
holding a skull.
show.
Fool. He's like, Mayweather, who the fuck is this guy? He doesn't know who the guy skull is.
Every time he has a new skull, it's like the opponent from last week, and this is
Yeah.
the skull and shit.
It's Jeremy Stevens in my heart.
What's poppin'? It's your boy Moses, aka Nomo, chilling right here in the Lit Out Podcast. My very special co-host, Mr.
Def Jeff.
And we got a very special guest in the building, Mr.
Gerardo Alarcon, a.k.a. the Diet Coke guy.
Yeah.
The Diet Coke guy over here, okay?
My guy.
You got any questions, you ask him, okay?
DC, homie.
We don't... DC.
GADC, homie.
GADC, fool.
Gerardo
you know
Alarcon,
about it,
drinking
dog.
the Coke.
So where are you coming from?
I love that city, bro. They got the best ice
It's with
cream.
6 R's. No, I live currently in Highland Park. However, I was born in Redlands, and I was raised in a little bit of Colton, and then also Rancho Cucamonga.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
TED
Thank
Talk
you for
now.
bringing that up.
TED Talk now. So where are you coming from right now?
Highland Park.
You just said that,
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. What is that?
It's like, if I bring my leg up, no one will notice.
It's the third time we did this. So
Yeah,
what
this
is
is the third time.
what is the abbreviation for that?
HLP.
Oh my God! Why is there an L in there?
Land.
Land.
Yes, just
Oh,
like Cleveland, like they call it CLP.
it makes so much sense. Wait, what's the P in Cleveland?
I don't know.
CLE.
CLE?
Yeah.
What is E?
Cleveland?
Oh, Oh my God! But they call it the land, right?
Yeah.
The land.
The
yeah.
land.
They only started doing that when they had LeBron.
That's lazy.
Yes.
That's lazy.
No,
Notice,
felt cool, you know?
It's like nothing else. Like you got the bean in Chicago.
Yeah.
You got the bull in New York, and then you just got the land. We have
you got
land.
the king in the land. The king of the land.
But he's in Los Angeles. So
Now he is. Are you a big LeBron guy?
Not in 2017, I started to be a fan of LeBron.
Okay.
I had a homie Mac that I worked with. Shout out Mac, foo. I miss your ass, dog.
Shout out Mac, baby.
out
we
Mac
used
and
to make
cheese.
we used to make beats together.
What's up?
And
shit.
so but for 2015, 2016, and I think 2017, we watched all of the finals at Howlin' at the Moon in Universal City Plaza. After work, because I used to work at Harry Potter Land. So we just clock out of work and go fucking to Howlin' at the Moon, and nobody was in there for any of the games, so we would just be watching it.
Was that when he was on Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You used to work at Harry Potter Land?
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter, yes.
How was that, dog?
I have a couple jokes about it in stand-up. It was dope. Like, the thing that's weird is that when you work at the Harry Potter Land, I was in the kitchen. I was like,
Of course.
I worked at Luigi's first. You know where Luigi's is at?
In Harry Potter Land, there's a
In
Luigi.
Universal.
Oh.
There's a
I was
pizza
like,
place
fuck?
called Luigi's. That's where I started working at.
never
And I was
been
like, this is legit. But they don't want you to get comfortable in any place because they don't want to really keep anyone. They want to have like a high turnover, right? So I kept getting moved and whatever, but I was killing. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Cooking the shit out of this place, dude. And then they fucking made me go to Harry Potter Land.
Did you play Hagrid or
No.
one of the three-headed dogs, or which one?
No, you're not allowed to be associated with the series. This is 100% true. This is what I was going to get to. You weren't allowed to be, if you were a cook or in like back of house staff, you weren't allowed to be associated with the canon of Harry Potter like at all. So they said that
That's racist.
they literally made you create your own story to where how you were able to work at Hogsmeade, which is like the little town in whatever Harry Potter land is. And so you were never allowed to be. So you had to be like, I went to community school, and I hopefully that get passed and get moved to Hogwarts.
What the
you know,
fuck?
you weren't allowed to be considered. It's like, oh, it's really important for the brand, is what they said. It's like, nah,
To not have
you just
Mexicans
want to have
in
you
there?
don't have fucking Mexican wizards.
Yeah,
dog. That's
just,
it.
we can't have any wizards, fool.
Yeah.
We gotta have wizards, okay?
Yeah.
Wizards.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I have a joke about it that it goes. I used to work at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I wasn't a wizard. I was a cook. The worst thing about working at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter were the questions. Like, what house are you in? House Gryffindor? House Slytherin? Nah, fool, back of the house. You know? Like, we don't got no wands, but I got a homie Juan, and he'll fuck you up. Dog. You know?
Instead of a hat, you get a sombrero.
Yeah.
It tells you where to go.
Oh, that's good, dog. That's good.
You're welcome.
I got a homie wine.
And that's the podcast, dude.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming out.
We're out. Are you into Harry Potter? You have to know about it.
Bro, I used to be super into Harry Potter, dog.
I just saw the first part 1 and part 2 recently, like a month ago.
The movies? I read all the books, dude. Like, I never read Jane Eyre or fucking, what is it, Tom and fucking, what is the Adventures of,
The Hardy Boys?
fuck that book too. I never read anything books-wise.
Captain Underpants.
But when Captain Underpants, you know, I mean,
That was the shit.
I saw the pages, you know what I mean? I didn't read it, but
Flip back and forth.
yeah, that it was hilarious.
zoom,
It's
yeah.
like, this fool's an underpants, he's white.
Dude, he's big and fat and white and he's a
Yeah.
baby. Stopping crime.
why I
Tra
love
la
it.
la.
But I read the shit out of Harry Potter, dude. 1 through 7, dog. I read the shit out of Harry Potter.
I tried, dog. I tried whichever one the red one is. That's when I was in 5th grade. The outside's all red, and he's like on a broom or some shit.
Not
The Chamber of
Phoenix?
Secrets?
Or
Yes.
Chamber?
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Do those movies, do they hold up? I haven't seen any of the Harry Potters like since they came out.
I watched the first one recently.
Does it hold up still?
The shit that freaks me out is like the whole like he's like a slave at his family's house and shit.
Yeah.
Like that kind of it's weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of the movie's pretty cool.
In this little tiny little room.
Yeah, like
Underneath
that's
the
so
stairs and
weird.
shit.
Like, so I'm like, damn, why people are crazy?
This
man?
fool whispers to snakes. Kind of sus, my guy.
Gay.
Yeah, kind of sus.
I got
my
a job
guy.
for you, Harry.
Do you like to spit on snakes, Harry?
Now that you don't work there no more, right? At
No,
Universal.
unfortunately, no.
Is it one of those things that like you can't go back or you love to go back?
I wish I can go back to working a job, dude. Like in the
No, just to
kitchen.
visit.
Oh, I mean, there's no real point. I was a drug addict, fucking weirdo. Not a weirdo. I was a drug addict
Nah, weirdo too.
when I worked at the Harry Potter land.
Mm.
So I don't know. And thinking about any of those times is always like bad.
Well, they have like the new Mario World over there, right?
I want to go to that food. Me
I
and
wanna
my
check that
little
out.
brother were gonna go to fucking Japan.
Oh shit.
Oh, they had the actual go-karts and shit on like Rainbow Road or whatever.
I think so. I don't even
Yeah.
know. I never went because of fucking COVID. But
Goddamn
we had our
Chinese.
tickets ready for 2020. To
Oh,
go in,
really? So you
July.
didn't get like reimbursed for like a later time?
No, we got reimbursed, but
You
we
just
fucking
you had to plan to go to Japan. Yeah.
cash that shit out.
Yeah,
homie.
you're like, yeah, fuck all that.
Yeah, I'm going to Olive Garden.
Oh,
dog.
no, it's all, yeah, yeah, breadsticks.
I'm gonna get 7 tours of Italy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
I'll try all the spices. You're gonna do that. What's that one show? The White Lotus?
What? No, it's on HBO.
Yeah, but is that not in Italy?
There's been too many people that don't even fucking matter telling me to watch that shit, dog.
I tried to watch it once
I'm
and I
just
was like,
kidding.
I don't care.
Imagine somebody I love telling me to watch it. Like, oh, I don't fucking matter.
I was
You
just
saw
like,
that
I know
shit?
we just met, but damn, I don't matter. That's fucked up.
You saw that shit, Jeff?
I tried watching it and it was cool, but I was like, I
It
don't
just
care.
looks boring to me.
I don't
dog.
care.
White Lotus? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It's just literally about rich people on vacation and fuck shit happens.
Oh my god, dude.
Like, fuck all that. I just
Yeah.
watched Snowfall. We gotta watch Snowfall.
Snowfall's hard.
What's Snowpiercer?
Snowfall.
You seen Snowfall on
Snowpiercer's dope
Netflix?
too, though.
Nah.
It's about drugs.
It's about like the
Mhm.
the crack epidemics or whatever in the 80s and shit.
Well, you gotta love crack, dude.
I do. I do.
Hey, do you think LA would be LA right now without crack?
I think it would be better.
A lot better.
Yeah.
No.
Ain't nothing ever good ever came out of cocaine, dude. Everyone, that's like a big
Have
misconception.
you ever done cocaine?
Bruh. Nothing good
Then,
ever
yeah,
came
well,
out of
you're
cocaine.
saying is a lie. Great time. A lot of bad times, but some great things have come out of cocaine.
No.
Threesomes?
Anyways, common misconception. Nothing good ever came out of cocaine.
In the moment,
when
it's
people
great.
stop doing cocaine, it gives them something to live for, dude. And then they create their best art. They create the best fucking thing.
You don't think like some like
So I should
Pink
stop doing
Floyd
cocaine?
or like different like artists or like NWA and shit like crack music, you know?
I feel like there's an argument to be made that they weren't doing those things. Like Robin Williams was known for his fucking coke addiction and drinking and but he only ever got down and worked on his shit when he was like not doing any of those.
Yeah, but then he killed himself.
He did. It's a
Once he
Oh,
stopped doing
but
cocaine, he killed himself.
As far as the art goes, when it comes to those things, he wasn't doing the sauce or anything. You know what I mean? Don't get me started. I'll start crying, Doug. Just kidding.
Let's do it.
No.
Emotional podcast.
Also, too, do you know why he ended up killing himself?
No, I don't.
Yeah, dude. So what are you talking about Robin Williams like that? Fool? That's fucked up.
I love Robin Williams.
Fuck you, dude.
I love Robin Williams.
love
Do you
Robin
know why he
Williams.
killed himself?
Yeah.
Why? You were there when he
had
did
a
it?
degenerative brain. So like
From doing so much cocaine?
I don't know about that, but
Nah, he was a very quirky person from the jump.
he was developing some sort of Parkinson's or whatever the disease is, and doctors were like, "Oh, I'm surprised that he lasted this long," kind of thing. And there's like a movie that his daughter Zelda made or something.
It was a documentary, right?
Yeah.
On HBO. That shit was sad as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a great movie though, or a great
Yeah.
documentary.
That's crazy. But do you think drugs like in the long term really fucks up like someone's like causes schizophrenia and
For
like
sure.
crazy shit like that?
Yeah, I think some people are predisposed to being like, basket cases when it comes to drugs, but for the most part, it's just like nobody really needs them. I don't know. People make money off the fact that we think we need them. You know what I mean? So it's always sketchy.
Are you a nicotine or are you a THC?
Nicotine, dog. I don't do any.
So you don't
weed.
smoke weed or nothing?
Nah.
You're not California sober?
No, I'm 100% sober.
what's
100%, except for obviously nicotine. But
I heard nicotine's good for you now.
they go back and forth.
I think
on
studies
that.
go back and
Yeah.
forth, yeah. But that's definitely what you said right now is definitely like a sober person mind thought because I drink, do drugs, all that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, nah, but now that you're like clean and like clear headed, you're like, you don't need that shit. I'm like, fuck you, I need that. I need all that. Don't tell me what I
Bro,
need.
when I was getting sober, like I was telling like whatever sponsor at the time that I had, I was like, the reason why I have to smoke weed is because I fucking can't fall asleep without it. Or like if I do fall asleep without it, I'll fucking sleepwalk. And then I got sober and like all these things weren't true.
How long you been sober for?
4 years
Oh, congratulations.
since 2018
Hell yeah.
September.
Congrats.
Congrats. Did you have to try multiple times to get sober?
Not really, dude. I
That
just
shit was hard though, huh?
did it at once. It was weird. It was fucked up and like I don't know.
Could you be around your friends that were doing it or you had to separate and find new friends?
I think by now I can.
But at first it was the
At
temptation.
At first, I was very, I get not isolated because I was with like a different community of sober people. But yeah, it wasn't like a do or die type thing for me. I just fucking got sober because I wanted to have sex with this one girl, and
Dick couldn't work.
and next thing you know, no, just like I mean, I'm making a joke, but I wanted to date this girl. You know what I mean? Let me speak for Jeff. Just kidding. I
spoke
wanted
for
to date
myself
this
right now.
girl. I wanted to put on a bow tie and take her out for a nice evening.
With your legs crossed.
Yeah, it's classy.
Fancy.
But yeah, she told me that like, the only way I could do it, or we could do it, or whatever, like date each other, is to get sober. And so I got sober, and then I was like, "What the fuck is happening to me?" Basically, and then we broke up, and I just decided to stay sober. So
That
it
was some good
like,
box, huh?
no, not really.
It wasn't worth it?
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I think no, it wasn't worth it. Like, it's kind of fucked up to say it like that, but like
The
You're
box
fucked up,
was
guys.
trash.
because you're bringing my sobriety into question. So like, yeah, I guess it was worth it because it was my sobriety.
Yeah.
But as far as the girl, like, yeah, we weren't meant to be together. But I don't know. So for whatever reason, she fucking seemed like a good idea at the time. And out of that, I got sober. So like, there must be a higher power or something working there. You know?
So she actually completed the one mission that a lot of girls like, oh no, I can change him. I'm going to date him. I can change him. I'm going to make him sober. She actually completed the mission in a way
And then still left them.
and still left him.
Yep.
Fucking
That just
whores.
goes to show that girls want project. And once the project's complete, they have no purpose and they got to bounce.
Hey, but it helped you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, I'll take it.
Sure.
Speaking of people that are pieces of shit, like, don't you get mad that Melvin is always like, that Melvin's always like, oh, I'm 90 days sober. And you're like, bitch, I've been doing this for 4 years. Like, come on, dog.
No, because
He's on a good path.
there's people that there's this guy Bob, right?
That's always a Bob.
There's this guy Bob.
Shout out, Bob.
I think his name was T-shirt Bob, whatever. And he would never be sober. He would always come into meetings that I was at, and everyone just was like, "Yeah, he's on his way, whatever." I'm not saying that that's Melvin whatsoever, because I've talked to Melvin about it. I'm like, "Bro, you're not sober because you're thinking about the date where you will drink again. That's not what sobriety is. Sobriety is like the party's over in a sense,
Yeah.
and then coming to terms with that." But giving yourself some sort of what is that thing called where you negotiate with yourself?
Like
Like
a way
reasoning
out.
and shit.
Reasoning, and it's like it starts with a B.
Bartering?
Bargaining, something like that. It's like, maybe he's ready to throw in the towel, maybe he's not. Dog, I don't want to throw in the towel. I still want to fucking smoke weed every day, dude.
Yeah.
I want to drink. I want to do all these things, but I just one day at a time. I don't do that shit. So like tonight, I don't have to drink or whatever. Maybe tomorrow. Every time, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow. So I'll never talk shit about anyone stopping to drinking or anything because like that shit's fucking awesome, dude.
I'm just
To
kidding.
talk shit about us doing
I'm
drugs.
just kidding, Melvin. I love you. That was a joke, but
Yeah,
that was my bad joke. See, that's why I don't do stand up.
He won't talk shit about people stopping drinking, but he'll talk shit about people doing drugs.
I have a bigger problem with his aggression. Just kidding. But
He's a big boy.
Yeah,
He's a scary
big
guy,
boy.
dog. You know, when I met him outside of my house, I'm like, oh fuck. You know, whenever someone's taller than me, I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, this might be an issue.
He's a
How
big
tall are
boy.
you?
I'm 6'2".
Damn. Yeah. I got 7 foot energy. I gotta go taller than the person every time I
Just
say
got
that.
a 7 foot voice
Dude.
volume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
same
loud as
thing.
fuck, dog. Loud as fool.
I'm half black.
Tell me a little bit about the Isimo, like the origin story and shit. Like, how did it come to? How far has it came?
Well, it's almost 2 years now. May 5th will be 2 years.
Of course.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo, dude.
Yes, sir.
It's not a real Mexican holiday, but anyways, go ahead.
I don't know if you guys know, but I had another podcast called Josh Rardo. And so Josh Rardo ended after around 2 years. And so, but we didn't have any listeners or anything. It was kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
It was more so to get better at stand up. And I bought all this equipment midway through that podcast so that it could get better. And so with that equipment, I just like hit up Dominic and Ryan and we started doing Isimo. And for a year and 3 months, me and Ryan and Dominic did it. And then Dominic became a bitch. And then Melvin.
We heard about that
Reached out
last
to
time
him.
when Melvin was
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's a bitch move, Doug. If
Hey,
you're listening.
What's his
He's
name?
my biggest fan. So
What's his name?
Just playing.
What's his name? The guy?
D-Dog. Dominic.
Dom. Fuck you, Dominic.
I'm just, no.
I got these hands for you, dog. What's up?
Nah, we don't fuck with you.
But
Nervous laugh. Like, I'm scared, dog. We got your back.
Just in the clip, just nervous laugh.
that's hilarious. Well, don't clip that, please. Jesus Christ. I just leave.
No, but I was telling Melvin that like before I even knew about Melvin, I knew about you and that pod with the two brothers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I always thought that pod was good, but like it wasn't like a perfect match. And I feel like this new Isimo pod, the new version 3.0, 2.0, whatever it is so much better.
Yeah,
I tried to be fans of both of them, but you guys just started excelling and being so much better. I'm like, you know what? I'm actually think I'm more a fan of this one. How to unfollow the other one.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different people in the world, you know? And so, like, the original version of Isimo on paper is a lot more successful than this version of Isimo. I am a kind of person that agrees with you and think it's way better, too. And I fucking enjoy doing it every time I do it as opposed to, like, kind of pulling throughs a couple times here and there.
Yeah.
Every time we fucking get together, I enjoy doing it. And I look forward to doing it every time.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, it's fucking dope. The iteration before, it was more so a little bit of work to do it, especially just like people not fucking following through with their plans and shit. That's always going to be a big pet peeve of mine.
I hate it when it even comes off camera when someone like feels like they don't want to be there. Like they're like they're all like kind of like low energy and shit like that. When you guys get together, fuck, dude. Like I would say like maybe 20% or 15% of your podcast is you guys laughing at each other.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
you guys aren't even talking, you're just fucking laughing at each other, screaming at each other. I'm like, this is real shit.
yeah.
And I can tell you guys are like real homies too. Like in the clip I just saw, I think it was either today or yesterday. The one where you guys were outside. Was that you? And you were like fascinated by birds?
Oh, no, that was Joel.
Oh, Joel. And he was like, oh, there's birds outside. And you guys are just like, yeah, it's fucking, what the fuck, we're at a park. And that shit was just funny because you could just tell, like, just the camaraderie. And it was just like, that's just clowning on him. Like, yeah, we're outside. Yeah, there's birds. Oh, there's grass. Oh, my God, there's trees.
Yeah.
I was like, that was fucking funny.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm in this fucking business for, dude. I know what I want out of life, dog. I want views. I want likes. I want these things, dude. Like,
Work
it's
for
not going to
yourself.
take over my fucking life, dude. Like, I just want these. I'm honest with myself, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the biggest, you know, like you're to the point you were saying about like not wanting to be there and stuff. It's like, bro, what do you want to do then, dude? If you want to sit on a couch, then fucking write some emails to the government, ask for money, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to have something successful. I want it to grow. I want to be funny.
Yeah.
Like we're all in this as comedians. You know what I mean? So
It's something that you can do that you love to do. It's just,
that too. It's like, dude, I've always been a fucking fan of conversation, dog. Like conversation's always been goated in my opinion. It's like, dude, talking to somebody, like you forget what the fuck you're thinking about. Maybe the listener feels the same way. I can't really like. I guess when I listen to like a basketball podcast, I feel that way too. Where it's like my bullshit goes away a little bit, and I'm like, oh, is Jimmy Butler gonna win Game 5? Oh my God, you know, and
Hit me Butler.
I saw that. I like that
Hit me
one.
Butler.
Him Butler. That was a good one.
did you guys see
nice.
that game?
Bro,
That
we
shit
saw the
was sick.
highlights.
I didn't see the whole
you
game.
guys,
Jesus
That boy is
Christ.
nice.
Bro, I was shooting a pod yesterday, right? And it's the Players Club. It's like my sports podcast. The homies come over and I shoot them. And in the middle, we saw it was like two.
Why do you shoot him? That's fucked up.
I know. I
Shoot
was
him
like,
with a camera, dog.
They come over and I shoot him.
No.
And you're like, damn, we have a new host every
I
week.
got all my BBs right there.
There's a
don't
new
even know-
host every week. They come over and I shoot them.
They don't even know they're being shot. Dude. The camera's hidden.
It's like fucking The Menu, the movie
Thinking
The
the
Menu.
same
They just
thing.
come
I hate
over
you.
here.
Get out of my head,
And now
dog.
you're about to die.
Get out of my head. But yeah, they were like, look, we're looking up stats and it's like 2 seconds left, down by 2. I'm like, oh, Milwaukee got this. It's over. Then we turn on the TV. It's like overtime and shit. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a crazy
Hemi.
game.
Hemi got a Hemi.
Yeah, no, it was the ending was wild, dude. And I was texting with Melvin the whole time. Just like all caps text. Just like not making sense. Just fucking open your keyboard and just like, you know how people do like, you know how like in movies they do curse words and it's like exclamation point, hashtag, fucking greater than,
And
less
like
than.
we know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
fucking shit, fuck.
Yeah, before we get too far away from the Isimo,
What's up?
I think Joel to me is like a secret weapon, dog.
Mm-hmm.
He's like Austin Reeves. He's like fucking
AR-15.
he's like a fucking a guy that you didn't expect that comes out of nowhere, and then there's some pods where he controls the pod, like the whole fucking flow is through him and shit.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
That's yeah.
Because to me, like you, not talking shit
he
about
makes
Joel.
it easier. It's like it's so much easier. It's like
I think you and Melvin are like more professional, like kind of know exactly what you're doing. He's just out there like he looks like a wild horse, dog.
Yeah.
like Yasiel Puig and shit.
well, that's good. It doesn't. It's not really that as so much as it. Like he does take it off the rails, which is I fucking love doing that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about my dad or whatever on the podcast. Then we end up talking about recycling and fucking bees for 45 minutes.
Wild card.
And it's like, the vulnerability of like talking about something and then, trying to cover that up with some other fucking random thing that you're thinking of on the spot creates easy moments of at least like 30-second comedy, which is what promotes your podcast, what
Yeah.
helps you
Make the
get
clips.
more viewers.
And I feel like that's just kind of the same thing as far as like, comedy and just humor and stuff in a way. Like some people find a way to like hide their like, you find like humor and everything.
Yeah.
So like you kind of hide the pain or hide the hurt or hide whatever you're going through and just make a joke about it.
Yep.
And it makes it funny. Some people, that's how you cope with it. Might not be the best way, but it's just, how some people cope with it. You
Yeah.
just like go on a deep, dark thing and you could open up, be vulnerable, and then at the end just fucking punchline and say some funny shit. You're like, all right, well, never mind then. At the end of the day, like,
Yep.
Is your like core aspirations like what you're like aiming for as far as like being in the business? Has it always been comedy, or are you into like serious drama or like being a real actor? Like what has always been like your biggest dream?
Well, I've always been a fucking actor, dude. So like I went to school for theater.
a thespian.
Yeah. For
I'm
the
a real
Thespian.
thespian.
Yeah, dude. I was
not a
bro,
lesbian.
I'm a huge fan of Shakespeare, dog. I
Oh,
fucking
wow.
love Shakespeare, dude.
Shakespeare's kind of like the core of like all stories, right?
Gay.
I don't know about that, but I just like Shakespeare. Like I would ditch class in high school and hang out with Mr. Kramer. Shout out Mr. Kramer, theater teacher. And he would just tell me about Shakespeare, more and more about Shakespeare. And like random fucking story. I don't even remember half these stories.
That's
you
the
know?
gayest way to ditch class ever. So it's just like, I want to fucking
not
go.
finger banging
I
some
want to do
bitch.
drugs. I'm going to fuck this girl. I used to ditch class and go hang out with the drama teacher. And
Look
he would
where it
read
got
me
him, Jeff.
Shakespeare.
Look where it got him.
I mean, no, even at the time, like I knew something was wrong with me because I was like, I'm looking forward to hearing about Shakespeare, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and keep in mind, I'm a human. I know fucking Shakespeare is what 700 years old or whatever.
Nothing wrong with you, but yeah. It's
Oh,
just-
nothing wrong now, fool.
It's
No,
called jokes.
there's something
Now I'm
wrong with
saved.
it. What I'm saying is there is something wrong with it, but at the same time, I was like, why? Like, I'm looking around, like, why isn't everyone into Shakespeare? Like, I didn't understand it. But I was a loner, fool, in high school.
Okay.
And but I auditioned for Julius Caesar and I got the role. I auditioned for Noises Off and I got a role, and that was a trip to me. And I was like, bro, I'm supposed to do this for the rest of my life, kind of thing. But then along the way, like I learned music before that. I fucking got into theater. I went to college for theater. I dropped out. And then I started working at Chipotle just making music. Like after Chipotle, I would go home, make music nonstop.
What kind of music?
Like folk music, gay.
Nah,
But,
I love
yeah.
folk music.
Nah, gay.
Jeff is gay, by the way.
Yeah.
100%.
What's it called?
gay as they
So
I'm just
Yeah.
projecting on you.
I would make a bunch of folk music and then also like random fucking whatever I can, electric type shit, synthesizer music, whatever I like the fucking taste of the day was.
Were you songwriting too, or just like making beats
Yeah.
and shit?
So for the most part, I don't have like 2/3 of them because I gave away like CDs of my stupid shit, just like the people in my life. But like the last little concentrated form of music I made is on my YouTube. And it's all like acoustic songs or whatever. But then I got fired from Chipotle, long story short. And the next day I did stand-up comedy for the first time. And that's all I really want to do, dude, is I just want to do stand-up comedy. That's it. I don't really... If I were to do acting or whatever, it'd be fucking sketch, but that's like getting ahead of myself, dude.
Yeah.
That's like so many more steps away.
Well, in a way, it's kind of like the same thing with sobriety. It's just day by day.
Yeah.
You just do whatever. Like
Yeah.
you go up, do some sets, do whatever. And if an opportunity arises, opportunity arises.
Yeah, and also too, you got to be real with yourself. It's like, dude, so many people, like as far as my little fucking world goes, want to be stand-up comedy people, right? Comedians and shit. And it's could be demoralizing at times. But then it's like I started doing podcasting. I got successful doing podcasting. It's like, am I supposed to do this shit? But I really want to do stand-up or whatever, right? So you never know, dude. You just gotta fucking, I don't know your role in a sense.
But at least those two go like hand in hand. You know what I mean? Like stand up and podcasting. At least those can go. You can still do your podcast, still do all that. And then if anything, you're on the podcast, you can find a bit. You just fucking freestyle off the top of the head, say something. You're like, oh, fuck, watch it back. And you're like, that could be a bit and go work on it. And then stand up.
Have you done stand up?
A couple times. I should do it way more than I.
He's a pussy, dog.
I'm a pussy about it.
He's a pussy.
100%. Yeah. But anyway, fat fuck.
I just want to make sure before you go talking about like pontificate comedy.
Oh no, but I'm fucking. I love comedy.
Okay, he's more of a diehard fan.
I'm big into it. I'm
a fan too, but I'm a casual. He's a diehard. Like, he knows people's names and shit.
Yeah, I love it. Listen, podcast, listen to gang of stand up, listen to a bunch of specials. So like, I don't do it as much as I should. Look at you trying to gatekeep comedy. Look at you.
No, I just want to know where you're coming from.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
a big talk about comedy. I'm like,
I'm a big comedy fan. Yeah, we can talk about it all the time. But it's just like as far as that,
doing stand up is different than
100%.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a pussy about it because I went up there. Very first time I ever went up, I had a rape joke and just bombed terribly, and now I have to sit up here with the mic in my hand, acting like I'm a rapist. I'm like, guys, I'm just kidding. Like it didn't fucking. It didn't work.
No, I mean, I'm not doing that because you said that. It's just like I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
People trying to get away with words, and it's like, bro, you can't say that word. The forbidden words.
You can say rape. I mean, I don't go up there and say certain words.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's words that we're not.
I try to make it funny, and then I was like, well, that one did not work. I was like, all right, well, that sucked.
Do you like the way, like, you know, some people, this for example, like baseball, like people doing bat flipping, like all the old school guys hate the new type of baseball. They think it's disrespectful. They're always getting fights about it. How do you feel about like stand-up comedians who are like true comics versus the podcast people who just make clips like us, basically, that we try to be funny. This is a comedy podcast, but we're not stand-up comics.
I like all of it. I mean, I have no say in like what's good or not because I kind of suck ass too. Like everything I do stand-up wise sucks ass compared to like a level I want to get to one day. I can make a room laugh for like maybe a solid 7 to 8 minutes solid, which is different than just like doing 7 to 8 minutes, you know? And so as far as like being short form content online, it's like, it's a tool, dude. Like Alfred Robles has a joke about this, or like, it's all a tool, you know? I don't want to say his joke. I was trying to stop. So like it's just a tool that helps you on your other endeavors, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's what I see it as. Like I think I grew into that eventually, but it's also fun. Like it's somewhat of a hobby. Like if people say like, okay, so you do stand up, but what do you do for fun? It's like, I mean, my podcast is fun and editing is fun. Like I try something different every time whenever it comes to whether it's the editing of the episode or editing of the clips. Mm-hmm. I try to do something different every time, make it fun, new and interesting to myself. And I feel like that's what a hobby is. Like, you know, when you cook a fucking steak, dude, you put a little bit of cumin, you're like, what the fuck is that? I don't know, dude. Cinnamon. How's it gonna?
A little bit of cumin, you know?
Yeah, no cum. Okay.
That's how it's spelled. Yeah, actually.
That's why you're bad at stand up. This guy's laughing at shit you say like that. That's why.
You just said you're bad too, though, so we both suck.
Oh, let me rephrase that. I'm a lot better than you.
I gotta stop laughing at this shit, huh?
Yeah.
Damn it, dog. Yeah. It's me, Jeff. I'm the one holding you back.
I'm like, he put cum in it, dude, and you laughed.
I didn't say come in. I just said come in.
I can't help it, dog.
Spelled the same way.
Cumin, got it.
There we go. See, over your head.
I've always been a fan.
Deep-rooted jokes.
I've always been a fan of those stupid jokes, dog. I can't help it. Like, that's
I am too. I'm just joking. Trust me. Yeah, dude.
You want to talk shit.
I always do.
I like this guy. In between takes, and right before we get started, you just keep fucking helping us with our cameras and shit. Because I'm a complete novice, and then Jeff, you know. Jeff, right? So, but like, how did you get so good at the camera stuff, the audio stuff, and just learning all this, like the tricks of the trade?
Well, I was like a couple months before I got sober, I went to this place to help test out lights. Like my homie Jeremy hit me up. Shout out Jeremy, and he was like, "Hey, you want to come test out lights for us?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." I knew what he did. He was working with Blackstone. And they do like commercials and fucking music videos and
like
shit.
Like a production company?
Lighting. It is a rental house.
Oh, okay.
But Blackstone Entertainment, whatever. And so, okay, dope. I went to go test out lights, and the next thing you know, I'm working there. And then I got sober between that. and because I would really like the job. And then I just worked there and like started doing the podcasting. Josh Michaels was Josh Bardo, my first podcast, and he knew more about whatever he wanted to do because he was the editor, you know. And then when I started buying all this stuff, I started asking my boss at the time, like, what would you do? And he started telling me about like backlight cross keys and stuff like that. So like ways in which to incorporate like what I was telling you earlier about the camera height and stuff, ways to incorporate some sort of cinematic value into whatever the fuck I was going to do with my cameras that I just bought. And so and on top of that, just as far as audio goes, like I just YouTube, like maybe once every 3 months, I'll watch some other fool do some audio processing and then fucking try to incorporate some of that into what I do. And then now it's like, I don't even know. It's like, what's the analogy where it's like, you fuck with it so much, you don't know where it all started kind of thing, you know? Like, I don't know
exactly like where it all began. It just all kind of happened
like that. But even like when I'm doing one individual track of like somebody, like if I'm doing Melvin's voice or Joel's or my voice, I'm like, wait, what's the step that I'm missing? But I feel like it just sounds the same, like that. I always do. Is it's like, all right, cool, whatever. Yeah. And then you get to a point later where you're like, wait a minute, there's a fucking noise in the background. Like, how do I fix that? So it's just fixing all these little details, and not be, like I'm just need to be satisfied with the result at all times, and figuring out how to do that shit. YouTube helps you out so much.
Do you think, like, you know, some of the success you're seeing now and like shit like that? Do you think anything would be different if you weren't sober? Or do you think, like, were you like spiraling and like going crazy, or you just like you said you did it for yourself just cause, or you did it for the girl? But do you think like
no, like I said, that what I told you is 100% true. I was not a bad drunk or
you weren't like going spiral out of control and shit.
Nope. So I don't know. No, it wouldn't be the same because I was very monotonous. I had nothing special to offer. Everything in my life only led to me drinking or smoking or doing drugs at all times. That's all. Like I would go to certain open mics only because they had cheaper beers instead of like working on my material or anything like that. So everything, it was very. I wasn't not very well thought out. Anything. So I don't believe, and I will never know.
And then as far as the stand up, so how do you write? Do you write premises like bits and stuff like in your notes? Do you write on stage? Do you sit and write the full out joke? Like, how do you?
I have like a bad habit right now of only writing jokes about like Spanish. I have so many jokes about just Spanish, just like stupid fucking jokes.
But like, shit, you know though.
For the most, I don't know Spanish food.
You don't know Spanish? Hey, let's go.
That's what most of the jokes are about. I mean, my girlfriend is like teaching me here and there, and I talk to her in Spanish as much as I can. But I don't know. It's hard because I told the story in AA once, and that became one of my best jokes at the time. After I tried it out the next night, because I like it's a bunch of different things. Like, so if I take like one joke for example, and I'm sorry if this is fucking boring.
No,
right?
it's not.
But
I love it.
Cool. One joke for example, like I told a story in AA about how I do the splits, like, and everyone started. I'm like, this isn't fucking funny. Like
you can do the splits.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I told them a story about how like I would end up doing the splits when I was drunk, and I don't even know like my legs would hurt and shit like that. They were just laughing. And then I was on set one day, and we were doing a Lifetime movie in this house in Upland, and we were like, it's a hurry up and go. So it's like you have to set everything up, and then you're waiting for like hours. So like I was sitting by the catering table waiting or whatever. And I'm trying to remember. I'm pontificating because I'm trying to think of how this came up. But like there was a cookies or something. And then like part of the fucking splits joke involves my cousin, Pirate. His name on the street is Pirate. But I made his name Cookie for the joke or whatever. And then like this whole joke fucking is I think it's like a 3-minute chunk of my material. But it's like started from that fucking AA room, and then like figuring out some mix on doing the splits drunk. And like where does drunk lead? Where do the splits lead? Kind of thing, and then making that scenario happen, and then like cholos, and then like going into this cholo bit, and like all that happened within like a month. And I went out with my homie Juan, and like I got the last part of the bit on the way to an open mic. Shout out Juan. But and like I told him in the car, I was like, yo, so this is the joke I'm trying to think of right now, like for the cholo part or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, that's funny, and you could do this and you could do that." And so I did this and that, and then like it became like this whole fucking bit. 3 minutes, like
It's solid. Yeah.
straight out the
solid
gate.
3 minutes. That's what's up.
And I still use it. That was like 3.5 years ago.
Well,
And I still
especially,
use the joke.
I just feel like, especially too, like in the light, like a situation that's actual real life shit, like that's probably easier and better and funner to do.
Yeah.
As opposed to sitting there just writing like, different styles of one-liners, storytellers, and all this shit. But like as far as like that, it's just like, yeah, it's something that's true to you, something you saw, and it's just easier to do it like that.
Like, it's just confidence, really. It's like I
Yeah.
know there's something funny about something that happens, and
You just
then
gotta
so I
figure out the funny.
try to figure out why people are laughing. What's the human element of things? Like there was something happened with me and my homie John Rivera a long time ago.
Shout out John Rivera.
Yeah, nah.
Oh, never
I
mind.
choose
Fuck you,
my
John.
fucking shout outs, dude.
All right.
No, John Rivera, shout out.
All right, shout out John Rivera.
So John Rivera and I were in a car at Best Buy, right? And this is when I first became a stand-up comedian. Yeah, open micer, right?
You still stand up.
And so we were driving, and this guy was like, "I can help you with the dent in your car while I'm driving, like this, right?" He's like in a Suburban, and then I thought he sounded like a New Yorker, so I was like, "Fuck you!" And he goes, "Suck my dick, suck my dick." He's like screaming at me, "Suck my dick!" But we're driving away, and you could hear that. I'm like, "Oh shit, he's really mad." So like whatever, that was the situation, and then so that became a joke I do. I don't like the joke, but like that thing that happened, like the joke is like I have his dent on my car. A guy tried to, or the city I'm in, right? So Southgate. I haven't been to Southgate in a while. Last time I came here, something weird happened. Like I was driving around. This guy said he could help me with the dent on my car. I said, "That's cool. How much would that cost?" And he said, "Suck my dick and it'll get done." And I was conflicted because I could either suck this dude's dick or to get my car fixed or go to a body shop and get fucked in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever paid for something so much where you got to talk to somebody about it? Like $500 for a dent in my car? Like, what's your name, dog? What are you here for? Anyways, I'm sucking this dude's dick and it doesn't get my car
Much
fixed.
rather suck a dick.
And then
Get
boom,
fucked
boom,
in
boom,
the
boom,
ass.
boom. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So like that, just that. I mean, I'm using my jokes, but like that
Yeah.
thing that happened where I told the guy to fuck off, but he just started saying "suck my dick" was so fucking funny to us. And then we were like, "Duh," all stoned. Imagine, fool, if I want to suck this dick. Like, in what world do you end up sucking that dude's dick?
This
Like
world.
he said, "Suck my dick." It's obviously just like whatever slang.
Yeah, it's just like literally just what they say.
Yeah.
Also, when you said "fuck you," that sounded more Boston.
Oh
in New
yeah.
York.
Fuck you.
Hey, fuck you. Okay, this cow pocket self.
Do you know the difference between the two?
Not really, no.
So like New York is more like the lips are pushed together. You parking lot like they so fucking shit in the motherfucker.
Like
And then
dead ass
Boston's
shit.
like smiling while they talking.
They're smiling, but
So
they're some
true,
fucking
man.
assholes.
That is so true.
They was finger popping each other's assholes.
How you like them apples?
Well, like out of all the
hunting.
places,
Good will hunting.
whether it's like open micing or like actually performing, like as a, what do they call it when you're actually part of the lineup and shit? I don't know what it's called.
Show.
Yeah, you're part of the show. What are some of your favorite places to perform, and like maybe the biggest crowd you performed in front of?
Well, the biggest crowd I performed in front of, there was one time where I did a show for AA, I think.
Mhm.
It was like a convention in Costa Mesa, and I fucking bombed because I was like not really doing that much stand up. I made like this a deal with myself that I wouldn't do stand up for like 3 or 4 months when I got sober, but I had a couple dates like lined up, so I would hit those, and then we got offered this one because it's AA, whatever, and they're like, "We'll pay you guys $150," so it's like $75 to me and to this
Yeah.
girl, right? So I'm like,
That's solid.
"Fuck yeah, let's
Yeah.
do this." And then I just ate a dick for like fucking 20 minutes, just like
Damn, 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then so like the biggest show I've done, I think, because that was probably like numbers wise the biggest show, like people wise.
Mhm.
But the biggest show I've done, I want to say, is the one I did for Alfred recently. Shout out Alfred Robles, Doug.
Shout
He's
out
fucking
Alfred.
dope as shit. I did a show for him on April 20, January, man, I forget what day. Recently, a couple weeks ago. Not the one in fucking
Bellflower.
the one in Bellflower, yes.
Okay.
At the stand-up comedy club or
Yeah,
whatever?
that's just brand new. That should look nice.
Dude, that was
I haven't been there, but I want to go.
It was insane to me. And I was telling them all too, like, I never fucking do this shit, dude. I never do shows like that. So like an all Latino crowd and fucking just just boom, dude, just like hitting it. It was fucking sick.
That's dope.
Yeah. And then I've done Kill Tony before. That's like not really material. That's just
Oh,
like
you've been on Kill
Wait,
Tony?
you did it?
Yeah.
You got pulled?
Yeah, like
When it was out here at the comedy club or?
Yeah, at the Comedy Store.
Do you know what episode that is?
No, I don't know.
I want to watch that shit.
Go for it, dude.
I
I mean,
want to check that shit out.
I think I was sober by then, but I mean, I watched it recently. It's not the greatest thing of all time.
Who's the guest?
I did one with Dane Cook. I think
So
that
you got
was,
pulled multiple times?
yeah. I
Oh,
think that
shit.
was the worst one though. And I did a Tiffany Haddish one, and I did Too Short.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Damn, that's dope.
All right, well, I'm gonna check those episodes out then. I'm gonna watch.
Go
that.
for it. I don't know if I was on it before that because I did try to get pulled a lot. I went up at the Comedy Store once and I bombed, and it's fucking stupid. But I mean, Frank Castillo's been on my podcast before, and we
Oh,
talked
that's
about it.
dope.
Yeah, where Frank Castillo saw me on Sunday night. They used to have 2 mics before COVID, and so he saw me on a Sunday night, and I did the fucking suck a dick joke, whatever. I did this called the bitch joke. I did my oldest fucking jokes that I've had since I started doing comedy. And it was just like me pissed off telling these jokes. There's nobody else in the room. It's like my homies and then just like Frank in the back. And nobody's laughing. I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
But you hear Frank. You know, guys, you guys know Frank Castillo?
I don't know who he is.
He's like, like loud ass
Yeah.
laugh in the back. And so he's like dying doing this. I'm doing this shit. And then he tells me, he's like, hey, bro, come tomorrow and I'll get you on the potluck. Like, just show up tomorrow. I'm like, all right, for sure, dude. So I show up the next day and he got me on. And I didn't do the same jokes, dude. I did different jokes. And I just fucking ate a fat dick.
Are you supposed to? Like when someone like that tells
No,
you?
like you're not supposed to. You're supposed to do the same fucking jokes, dude.
Okay, I don't know.
But I was
don't
an
know.
idiot. I wasn't sober. I was fucking stupid. I was smoking weed before I went out there.
You thought I could try let me try some new shit then?
Yeah.
Even though he
But,
liked the
yeah.
old shit.
Is that a rookie mistake to try new shit when you're like called on to like by
I
somebody?
think case by case.
Mm.
Like, I mean, we had a show for Isimo fans, and I knew some of them from my Patreon, and I post my fucking stand up on my Patreon. So like,
Okay.
I was like, all right, for these fools, I'm gonna do like all these new jokes that I'm trying to think of right now. And so I just did 10 minutes of like newer things that I'm working on, sprinkling in like little jokes so I can make sure they're having a good time, you know?
Yeah.
But being conscious of what I've already posted, I was like, I'm not gonna do these other things. So like, it just depends, food, because like I want to do good
Yeah.
for like people, especially for like Isimo crowds or like
Like
whatever.
your Patreon, the people that know you and your shit. Yeah.
But more so, what I'm saying is like I want to do a good show, but I chose to do new material for that show, which is probably not the
risky,
smartest fucking
right?
thing to do. But I was like, I'm gonna live in it and fucking just get to the laugh eventually. Like I'm gonna figure out if I don't have that punchline yet, then I'm gonna get to it eventually. And there's only like one joke on it. Bless you, where
Thank you.
I didn't get to a punchline. And so I told him, I'm like, I'm trying out these new jokes, whatever. And then I got to older, more reliable material.
I bought 2 tickets to Saturday, but I didn't go.
Oh
I
shit.
was supposed to go. Me and my girl were supposed to go, but I ended up not going. Dog.
Oh, okay.
And
You
there's-
guys left the most.
But don't you have like a new another live show coming up in May or something?
May 20th.
Yeah. I got that day off of work.
We're gonna go
so-
there. We're gonna go that one for
Yeah,
sure.
we'll be at that one.
But I was supposed to go on Saturday. I bought 2 tickets and everything, and I ended up not going.
If you got the money to, I'm gonna be with Jesus Sepulveda May 12th
Oh,
right
shit.
here.
at Bellflower,
Yeah,
I'm down.
go for it, dude.
Yeah, I make sure I got the day off for from work for you guys' next live show. So I
May
missed the other one.
20th, and then we're gonna have a couple more. I don't know what the day is yet though.
How many people can fit in there?
Right now 60.
Was it M
Shit.
Studio?
Studio M.
Studio M.
Studio M.
Yeah, for the
Whatever.
first 3 shows we had 60 people.
Damn.
Like
Hell yeah.
like averaging out to like 60 people. And then the 4th show we only had, I want to say like 20 people, dude, because it was the fucking Ryan Garcia fight,
Yeah,
the Laker playoffs, Coachella.
it's tough.
And then we all just looked at each other like, what are we doing, dude? Like,
Did
we
you-
should not have got this date.
Oh, I was about to say, did you watch the Ryan Garcia fight? But obviously not.
I saw
But-
yeah.
The clips, the highlights
Yeah.
and shit. Did you think Ryan Garcia was gonna win?
Oh yeah, I was going for Ryan Garcia.
Me too.
Nah, Tank got that.
I just don't like Gervonta. Like
no?
I saw Gervonta on the undercard for I think it was Manny Pacquiao Floyd
Floyd?
Mayweather? Or was that or
It
was he
might
on
have
the-
been.
It might have been Connor
Because I feel like that was like a old, like that was long enough where he was like an undercard fighter. Now he's a main event
Dog,
fighter.
it was, and when I saw it, because he was like all the hype at the time. I want to say it was McGregor Mayweather, and they were trying to hype him up to like, you know, kind of use this big old
Yeah.
platform to hype up this guy, and he fucking ate a dick in the fight. So I was like, fuck this fool.
Did he
dude.
lose?
I don't know. I think he did lose.
He's undefeated.
Oh, he might have won by decision. then or
Maybe he
something.
won, but like in my eyes, I was like, this guy sucks. Like it was not an entertaining fight.
What was the first time he's ever sold more than 200,000 pay-per-views? They got
Okay.
they got 1.2 sales, and he usually only does the most he's ever done is 200,000. It's
Okay.
Gervonta Davis. He just doesn't have like he's good, right? But he doesn't. He's not like a. He's not a. I don't know. He's not. He doesn't sell.
But it could be the same thing. And like everyone talks shit, and it was like fun to talk shit at the end of the day, like to Ryan Garcia, TikTok fighter, all this fun shit or whatever. But also, it's just like when like everyone was talking shit how he quit, and it's like I've never boxed, never done nothing like that, but enough to like get hit in the liver, and you're just like, yeah, I don't want to piss blood for the rest of my life.
And it's not like
it's kind of like, yeah, they're gonna have a rematch, so it's also like, yeah, I'm gonna bow out on this one. Like I feel like my bladder filling up with blood right now, and it's like he tried and he just fell out. And I kind of like also after the fight all the like the respect and like them talking to each other and like shit like that. I was like, I appreciate that, especially like in fighting.
I kind of wish that they would keep the fucking the illusion up. I wish that, like, I don't want everyone to be
because for the next fight now they're like, you already know they're like cool with each other and shit.
Okay.
I don't want them to just all be happy because they got paid millions.
That's why I love Nate Diaz. Because if Nate Diaz don't like you, he don't fucking like you.
I want them to keep the illusion up.
He turned himself in today.
That
For what?
sucks.
He got in a street brawl at like not Mardi Gras, but like New Orleans, and he choked out some guy that looked like Logan Paul, and he threw him on the floor.
But it's also
Choked him out
funny.
and
All
threw
the
him.
memes is like, I think he might have thought that was actually Logan Paul. He just fucking choked his ass out.
I like Nate Diaz.
Me too. It's one of my favorite.
Oh,
Fighters.
he's fucking sick because
Yeah.
he's just so him
so
and his
gangster,
brother.
you know, like I love that shit.
But him
Yeah.
and his brother are just so like themselves. Like they just like fucking
Stockton, motherfucker.
Stockton what? Like fucking who gives a
you
fuck
piece of
about
shit.
without them? Like who the fuck knows what Stockton
Yeah.
is? Such a small little city. But
And for me too, it's like boxing. I could only really do the heavyweights, but when it comes to
Yeah.
UFC, I could watch all the weight classes, just because it's
I can't even watch the bitches in UFC.
yeah,
Bro, they fuck each other up.
because for me it's more unpredictable.
Yeah.
You know, like
Because there's so
one
much.
punch can do
with
it all.
boxing, it's like one punch ain't gonna do shit, dude. You're just up. You're just gonna.
Well, that's like the
I don't want to
same.
like I'm not trying to say call them bitches or anything, but like that
And
shit.
any
is
of
just
them will
like-
fuck us up.
Yeah, any of them
Yeah.
will fuck us up. But the heavyweight, like the fucking at
Like
any
the Tyson
moment,
Fury, Wilder shit.
you don't have to wear anyone down. Like at any moment, somebody can get knocked
Well,
out.
that's like, well, speaking of like the heavyweights and shit in UFC, like John Jones, kind of in the same thing with Ryan Garcia. John Jones won the title from Shogun with a body shot. He fucking hit Shogun. I remember watching that fight. Hit Shogun with a body shot, and Shogun just collapsed and
Yeah.
fell. And John Jones won his title and just fucking became John Jones after that. But yeah, he didn't even knock him out. He just body shot and something in Shogun's body, and Shogun was the shit. And he just fucking felt that as John Jones was like 22, 23 years old.
Like I remember the first fight I saw was GSP versus Johnny Hendricks.
GSP was the shit. Damn, Johnny Hendricks. I never
But
heard
like
that
Johnny Hendricks fucked GSP up in that fight, and then they got GSP to be the winner. I was like, what the fuck is this, dude? You know, because to me, I didn't know shit about the sport, but I was like, Johnny Hendricks won that fight, and all my homies were like, yo, what the fuck? Johnny Hendricks won. Keep in mind, GSP's great. I love GSP.
GSP
right?
is a goat.
Same
One of
thing
the
with
goats.
John Jones, dude. John Jones and
John Jones is the goat.
and Dominic Reyes, dude. Like, I was like, bro, at least a draw. Like, there's no way John Jones won that fight. And then people explained to me that, like, you know, if you're the contender, you have to challenge
Yeah,
the
it's like-
champion. It's like,
as-
but bro,
if it
a
go-
draw is a draw. Though.
That's dumb.
But if it goes to decision as far as a championship belt, and that was like either that fight or his first fight with
Gustafsson.
Gustafsson. Yeah, those are the two closest fights where it was like John Jones might lose this fight. Yeah, that Dominic Reyes shit. But also it's just like he just didn't do enough to take the title away. If it wasn't a title fight, I feel like John Jones would have lost that. But because he was John Jones and he had the title and everything, they're gonna give it to John Jones.
Bro, imagine how much doper UFC would be if they quoted Shakespeare.
no,
Give me an example.
you're fucking
Dog,
tripping.
it's just like
Give
this
me an
fool-
example.
Imagine like Conor McGregor coming back and being like, he's not sure if he's gonna win. He's like, to be or not to be, or how does he talk?
He talks just like that. Yeah, no,
He's
that's
like,
how.
who the fuck is that guy? Right? To be or not
To be or fucking to not to be? That is the fucking question, eh?
fuck is that guy?
And then the crowd's just like, ah, and he's like, whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. You know what I mean? It's that shit will be lit, fool. And then the UFC,
poetic as fuck.
the UFC music behind it, dude. And then it's like, you know how they did like the Mayweather,
Spotlight.
they did the Mayweather fucking multiple nights, or the same with Aldo. They did the Aldo like all over the country
Yeah.
promotion. He comes back out, he's like, when in disgrace with fortune in men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state. He's like contemplating life the whole time, dude. Bro.
That's something you can do right there too,
Holding
though.
the skull and shit.
Yeah,
UFC
holding a skull.
show.
fool. He's like, Mayweather, who the fuck is this guy? He doesn't know who the guy skull is.
Every time he has a new skull, it's like the opponent from last week, and this is
Yeah.
the skull and shit.
It's Jeremy Stevens in my heart.
But the whole thing with like McGregor though is like that man's rich as fuck, and like
Is he
people
though?
have said it before, and I just it kind of makes sense.
Rich?
Yes, but it just makes sense as far as like fighting. It's just like fighting is such a like bottom of the barrel, like you have to fight for your life type shit. And now he's just rich as shit. So it's like,
So is Shakespeare,
why
dog.
would he
Bottom of the
even
barrel
fight?
people love Shakespeare, dog. That's what I'm saying.
that's the first
You know what
time
I
I
mean?
ever heard that.
I've never heard that.
I've
Maybe
never
that's true.
heard
Yeah,
that
that's right.
before.
Well, you got prose and you got verse in Shakespeare. Prose, bottom of the barrel people. Verse, that's fucking
What are pros and
What
verse?
is that? Yeah.
the way you talk. So like they be Cockney people talking in prose and they don't have any rhythm to their speech. But if you're rich and fucking have time to think about what you're gonna say, you speak in verse.
Okay.
It's like
a
a
little
love
more
language.
elegant. A little
Yeah.
more elegant.
You start
and shit.
rhyming, all this shit, you know.
Did you ever do musicals?
No, fuck musicals.
Wow. That hurt
Thank
my
you.
feelings.
Thank you.
I
Because you
fucking
guys are a
hate-
musical guy.
I got respect.
I was in theater
Hey,
too, and I did musicals.
I was not a fan of musicals.
Why not? It's
I've-
fun. You get to act hella gay.
I'm like going back into my fucking college mindset, and I just fucking hated musicals, dog. I hated them.
Poor K.
I always wanted to write a musical and do it the right way. So like that's how much I hated them.
right
I was like,
way.
I'm gonna make this shit work.
What, like a
'Cause
book?
nothing's working.
Like a
dog.
Book of Mormon type shit or something? Like a funny
Um,
musical or like what?
No, I just shit that I'm interested in. Like at the time, listen, at the time, I was super into conspiracies. So I wanted to write a musical about a dude going crazy in his own house, tripping out on conspiracies. And then like just like that was the idea. I didn't have anything written,
Yeah.
but I would just fuck around on the piano like with different songs.
You weren't sober at that time?
No,
So that was like a coked out thought too?
no.
I had plenty.
No, it
of,
was
I
not
had plenty
coked
of those. It was like,
No, it
yeah,
was
it's
just-
about a musical about a conspiracy guy. He's going crazy in his house, and you're like, what does it do? I don't know. I just thought of the idea.
No, yeah, I was just stoned out of my mind. When I did cocaine, I was writing more so of just random sketches.
Yeah.
Short
I
sketches.
do that all the time.
It was like as many lines as I did is how many lines I wrote, you know.
One line per line, and then you go back the next day and look at it, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
No, my shit was fired. I don't know about you, but
You didn't make it.
no, I did make a couple. But
do you ever write shit and like never go back to it? Or do you
yeah.
use everything?
No, there's bro, if I like there's stuff in my notes that are just like, what were you thinking? I forget there was one thing like I forget what it was, but I was like these combinations of words I'll remember for sure the whole thing that I thought about.
Yeah.
And then I'm talking about like sober Gerardo too. And then I went back to it. I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking, dude? And usually it works where I'll have like just like these words, and then I'll think of this like I'll be able to drive and go down this tangent of like whatever the fuck I was feeling or thinking. But for whatever reason, for the most part, the stuff that I write on my phone, just like, who is this guy? You know?
Even though that's literally what I just said.
What?
That you just go back and look at some shit you wrote before, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah.
yeah, but he says so much better.
No, but you're talking about musicals.
No, I wasn't talking about music. I was just talking about
Oh.
ideas and shit where you like write it, and then the next day or whatever you go
Oh,
back.
but you're
and
talking
like,
about
what the
drugs
fuck is
too.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
okay,
Like
yeah.
when you're on drugs and shit, you just go back and like, what the? And at the time, you're like, this is it. This is gonna be sick. And then
Yeah.
the next day or two, you look back, you're like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
any of this?
But I can say that jokes I write for stand up, I'll try them out at least once. And then like some of them will eat shit. I'll try it out more and more. And it's like there's one right now that I can't really make work.
Yeah.
It's about Koreans being very vengeful. And then like the highest form of vengeance is hypnosis. It's just
Sounds
not working.
interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like an interesting.
Like there's so
premise.
many fucking movies about Koreans hypnotizing each other.
like fucking what was it? Everything, everywhere, all at once type shit.
I don't think there's any hypnosis in that one though.
But there's Koreans.
I think there is hypnosis now.
That's just like a multiverse.
You have to
weird
hypnotize
shit.
yourself to go into the next dimension.
There you go. See what I'm saying? But
Fucking perfect.
like Old Boy is the number one fucking plot
I've never
twist.
seen the Korean one. I've
Okay.
seen the regular one with Josh Brolin, or
Yeah.
not regular, but the American one or whatever.
Regular.
But I heard the. I mean, it's
Are you serious?
America.
I've seen the
goddammit.
good one with
I've
Americans.
seen the good one
The
with
one
the
they did the
whites.
right way.
The one with the white people. But yeah, I heard the Korean one was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a good movie, but
Yeah.
like it's like if you, I don't know, you have to. There's a bridge
Yeah.
of disbelief you have to cross
Mhm.
where it has to do with hypnosis, and you're like, what?
You just got to work on that.
Yeah, right. And then Forgotten. There's this movie called The Forgotten.
I've never seen it.
It's like what? Like there's another bridge you have to cross. It's a good movie. It is a really good movie, but this hypnosis thing is like, bro, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Are you a big like movie buff?
What movies?
I mean, do you just love movies? Like,
I do love movies. I don't like cartoons. I love movies.
No?
No cartoons at all?
I don't really like cartoons.
Why? What is
no,
it?
like South Park, Family Guy, Simpsons.
No, like I mean, people that listen to me know this, but like when it came to South Park as a kid, I really wanted to watch South Park, but like my mom wouldn't let me watch it. So I just
100%.
eventually got to this place where I was like, fuck all cartoons, basically, I think. And I just became that way. It's like, if I can't watch it, then it's stupid.
But you never catch like a TikTok reel or a cartoon of a South Park episode and be like, damn, this is funny.
No, I watched some South Park, like starting this year. I've watched from the beginning. And I was like, all right,
the beginning's tough.
Yeah, but it's funny. Like, it's
not
hilarious.
Is good. The new shit.
Tough.
Yeah. The new shit's good.
The beginning of South Park is tough, like animation wise, but I feel like the jokes are so much more raw. Like, yeah, but it was just back in the day where they could just say whatever.
But also, like
they could still say whatever the fuck they want, but like back then they could literally say whatever the fuck.
But like the style of comedy has changed so much, you know, like it's so slow back then. I don't know.
Now they're like making points and shit. But as far as like trying to work on a joke and shit like that, like what's the worst bomb that you could recall?
Yeah, so there's this. So this one time, shout out to Dashawn Raw. You guys know who Super Hot Fire is? The guy that does those battle raps.
Yeah.
So that fool, him, and Joshua Wad. Shout out Joshua Wad. We all did the open mic scene for a little while, and then we were like, we want to throw a show, so we threw the show. And I was like, dog, I got the perfect place. This place in Pomona called the Daw Center, and they had like this downstairs basement, and I knew the lady that owned it because of a play I was in at the time. Because like I don't really act anymore, but the homie from college was like, "Hey, bro, do you want to do this thing? I wrote this thing, and we're gonna film it all one take. This whatever." I was like, "For sure." So I was going to this art center, the Daw Center, like once a week for I want to say like 2 months, and so I got to know the people that owned it and operated it. So I was like, "Yo, we want to put on a comedy show. Is it cool if we could do the basement downstairs?" And like she's like, "Oh, the basement's a very popular venue." No shit, that's what I want. You know, whatever. Yeah. Well, what's a good day to? I don't care how far it is in the future. Like, let's just fucking plan this shit out. Boom, boom, boom. We get the basement, right? This is important to the story. This all includes the bomb, okay? And so on the day, I get there early as shit. There's like a little back alley where we could park our truck, the homie Jeremy, I think's truck, and then unload everything downstairs because we had the speakers, the fucking stage. Like, we made a stage for an open mic that we were trying to run too. And so we had to roll the stage down, bring the speakers down with all this shit. So I'm handling that shit, and she tells me, all right, you guys are going to set up right here upstairs. And I was like, no. The reason why we got this date so far in the future is because we're on the fucking basement. Yeah. She goes, no, it's a popular thing. I was like, whatever, like we have it booked or whatever. I was like, no, you could tell them to go fuck themselves. We got the fucking basement. I'm getting upset, right? I didn't use all that language. I'm in a podcast, so I'm just talking, right? Yeah. But like, no, we got the fucking basement, bitch, fucking shit. Just kidding. I didn't say that either. But
nah, fuck that.
So I'm like,
verbatim.
I'm like hype, and I'm trying to figure this out because it needs to be in the basement. We're filming the whole thing. It's supposed to be like part of a special for Tashawn. You know what I mean? And so like, it ends up all happening, right? And it's fucking, we got a shit ton of people down in the basement. I don't think she realized like how many people were going to come out to the show.
She thought it was going to be like an open mic crowd or some shit.
Maybe. I can't really be in her head, but maybe that's what she thought. It was just like, it was very short-sighted of her as far as this night goes. Yeah. And then so, finally it's all set up. I think the homie Josh hosted it, and I was the first comic to go on stage. And that whole fucking day that I had to deal with whatever, because it was a long fucking day. You know what I mean? Where I was trying to deal with the logistics of us. We had to like compromise with her on some things. I forget what it is now because it was like 3 years ago. And so we're finally down there, and I'm finally on stage. I'm finally holding the mic, and I'm talking to the people. It's a full crowd. There, the fucking ceiling, small, intimate, exactly what you want, like a comedy club to be, right? And the crowd's full. It's like an all-black crowd, right? And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I could try out my jokes in front of an all-black crowd. And like that's how I was thinking at the time. Yeah. Now it doesn't really matter. I just try to be funny for anyone.
For anybody.
So I'm starting my shit, and I'm doing it, and I'm like, all right, I'm not really getting that much laughter. Whatever, and keep going, and like I'm nervous, and like I'm still like blood's pumping from dealing with this lady all day. And then after I got off stage, I was like, "What the fuck?" I told my homies like, "What the fuck is the matter?" Like I thought I did good, Anyways, oh dude, I wasn't even sober, so this is like 5 years ago, dude. And so the whole night goes great. Whatever, Deshaun does his stuff. Like we have a couple other comics that went up, and then we go back to Josh's house, right? And we light up the blunt. And Josh plugs in the fucking SD card to watch everyone's set, like, because we're all just like chilling, celebrating that we just did this show. Right. So I'm smoking the blunt, and they play mine first because I was on stage first. And I'm watching my set, and I'm saying Jesus fuck all the time, dog. I just like, yo, what's up? My name's Gerardo. Jesus, fuck, dude. Like you know, people. I'm a French Mexican. Mexicans call me Gerardo. French people call me Gerardo. They're laughing. Jesus, fuck, dude. I swear to God, I said Jesus, fuck like 5 times, and then I was like hitting the blunt, and I told my homie, I was like, hey, fool, I'm saying Jesus, fuck a lot, huh? And they're like, yeah, fool, you were saying that a lot, fool, like this and that, whatever. Like everyone starts agreeing. Like nobody told me before, but they all start saying like, yeah, fool, I was actually thinking like, this fool hates Jesus or what? Like, you know? And then Deshaun's like, yeah, dog, it's an all Christian crowd. And I was like, what?
Oh shit!
How did you guys get Christians in there?
I don't know. So like Deshaun, it's his audience. He's like, there was like a group. I don't know if he was fucking with me.
So
He
it's like
might have
a-
been fucking with me.
Like
you
a
know?
Lutheran church or some shit that came in
Maybe.
there?
I don't know. I'm not racist.
Maybe
but-
just homies from his church and shit.
Yeah. Maybe maybe he just knew there was a large crowd from the church there, or he was just fucking with me because I said Jesus fuck so much. But yeah, it was very convincing though that there was like an all Christian church there.
But did you feel like you were bombing on stage, or like were you bombing?
No,
on
yeah.
stage?
So on stage, I was doing the things that happen where it's like, you know, ears getting hot. And being like, why aren't they laughing? Hey, you guys didn't like that one, but let me try this one. Fool.
Jesus fuck.
And then you know it's bad when you're going to your Harry Potter jokes in front of an all black crowd. You know what I mean? That's
They don't know none of that shit.
yeah.
Oh,
I don't even do
my
that shit with the
God.
Latino crowd, dude.
Just a white crowd.
Nah, just like diverse crowds. If there's like some white people there, I'll be like, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
You know?
How do you feel about people that like only pander to one side? Like
Nah,
all their
dude,
jokes
I mean-
are like corny Mexican jokes, or like, you know, or like, should comedy have like small niches like that?
Give an example.
I understand.
Like
what
George
you're
Lopez. George Lopez has nothing but Mexican jokes.
Yeah. But it's also a lot of white people, a lot of black people are going to find George Lopez hilarious because he is funny. Nah, dude, as long as you're just grinding it out, foo, and like, you know, as long as you're finding the statue within the stone, dude, that's all that matters.
Whatever works for you should be.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I feel like if anything is because kind of the same thing with like Joe Coy. You know, like a lot of his jokes are about like, you know, Filipinos and just his Filipino upbringing and shit. But as far as, you know, like Filipinos and Mexicans, they have like kind of like, you know, certain like similarities and certain commonalities. And so it's just kind of like, I'll look at Joe Coy and hear him saying, and it's like, yeah, obviously not Filipino, but I'm just like, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, yeah, that's funny as fuck. So it kind of brings like a light to the culture. It's the same way as like music, like a hip hop will bring a light to like black culture. And like certain comedians, like a fluffy George Lopez or a Joe Coy or something, will bring a light to their type of culture and everything like that, and make it worldwide. Make
Well,
it
just
more
like Melvin
mainstream.
says, dude, like if it was easy, everyone would do it.
100%.
It's not easy.
That's
Even-
why I said like I'm a pussy when I do it because it's maybe my ego and I need to put it to the side. But like I went up there, bombed a few times, and I was just like, and I know, and like it fucking sucks and it hurts, and I'm like, I know I need to go up there and do it more, but I'm just being a pussy. And at some point, maybe I will get over it, maybe I won't. But like, yeah,
Nobody
it's
cares.
hard as fuck.
Nobody cares, dog.
But it's hard as fuck.
You got to do it for yourself, fool.
100%.
That's all that matters.
And that's why I beat myself up about it all the time.
And like I always make sure to do, like I try not to be judgmental of anyone's comedy because I mean, listen, I'm not saying that I would never been that way. It's just I know what it's like you know, to
actually do it.
To think like somebody's terrible and then to see their growth and be like, why would I give them that so early in what they were doing? Like, you know what I mean? Shout out Nick Laney, dude. I love Nick Laney. Like,
We
and
need
I've
a
always
shout out counter.
I've been a very
Shout
big,
out Nick Laney.
I've been a very big fan of his for a long time. He's like an open micer. I'm just saying shout out because nobody really knows him.
No, but shout out Nick Laney.
But anyways, seeing his growth, I was like, exactly, dude. Because I started to realize that before I met Nick Laney, where I was like, dog, everyone's gonna start doing comedy. Everyone's gonna get better at comedy. And then you see like whatever the 2K stats are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so seeing Nick Laney, I think 2 weeks ago, I was like, damn fool, this fool is fucking good, dude. And like compared to like what it was before, it's like God, it's I guess night and day would be an analogy, but it's just insane. And it's the same jokes too. The same jokes.
But just more perfected.
Yeah. And people are like, I'm not going to do the same jokes here because people have already heard them and stuff like that. All these things are fucking evil to good, like solid stage presence or solid comedy.
It's getting your head too much.
Like when it comes down to like the podcast, I've noticed that like you guys, like for us, a good solid episode is like 50 views on Spotify and Apple, 50 views on YouTube, and then maybe a couple thousand on a reel, right? That's like good. But you guys consistently are putting up numbers where it's like 1,000, 2,000, or even more on just your YouTube. I can only imagine the Spotify shit. Like, what do you think the key is, or why do people fuck with you guys so much? Why do the fans love you guys so much?
I think for the most part, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
You're genuine.
Yeah. So And I feel like if you're not genuine or real or,
People will find it out.
no. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Jeff. Jesus
When you're
Christ.
not real or genuine and stuff, it comes across in the result.
Yeah.
It may not happen this week, but it will happen over time, So like those things I think are true, and that's all you could really say. Like as far as results go. As far as like the creating of things, like I'm always going to be fucking honest with people. Like right after the fucking thing ends, like how do we like that? That's it. And the numbers don't fucking dictate how I judge my episode,
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had a good time, if we didn't think it was good, then we'll sit and do another one. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, I become a producer, and then I fucking look at everything and I'm like, oh, I'm tripping, dude. This was solid. Maybe I didn't like it because one of my jokes bombed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how it is, Like, and for the most part, just having that ability to self-govern, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. So I'm just talking for the most part, but like,
yeah, no, that makes sense though.
there's so many different things. Like I said, the details, dude. It's all in the fucking little details. Like I try to do something different every episode. I try it, and then like it's like if you build it, they will come. So it's like if you do something different every episode, and one person comments like, "Oh, I like how this fool had that thing go across the screen." That one, it's like, bro, I'm developing investment, and that's what's most important to me. It's like as a producer, because as Gerardo, I just want to fucking have a good time, But when it comes to the producing aspect of things, it's like I'm gonna throw this in there, see what happens. It's like because nothing will happen if you don't throw that thing in there,
But have you ever noticed, as far as like comedy or podcasts, when you said like, things that I like things, is it good? Do I like it? Do I like it? Whatever, put it out. Have you ever noticed? Because like when so I do music, so like when I put out certain tapes, like certain songs, I'd be like, that's not really my favorite song, and I'm like, but whatever, I'll put it out anyway. And then certain songs that I'm like, I think this is a banger, and then people will tell me the song that I thought was like, that song kind of sucks. They'll be like, bro, I fucking love that song. Like that song's, I fuck with that song, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it's just kind of like the same thing as far as like, podcasts or just comedy and shit. It's just like doing it. And like, I just feel like even if you like it, it's just like, even if you don't like it, if it sucks, it sucks. But if you just put it out, even if you don't like it, it might just like fucking resonate with somebody else. Like that material, that joke, that song, that something might resonate with somebody that you had no idea of. And like to you, it was kind of like a throwaway. You're like, it's whatever. But they're like, I fucking love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's... Yeah, I think to me now, because I understand the reaction you're explaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's songs that make me cringe, foo. But like somebody be like,
and they have like 1 million streams.
No, none of my songs are like that.
I mean, not your songs specifically.
Yeah, okay, got you.
But just certain songs.
I'm talking about like songs that I've made.
Okay.
Yeah, and like that'll make me cringe. But like the homie and like a fan of mine on a stream will be like, play this one song whenever I pull my guitar
You're
out.
like, what the fuck?
And I'll be like, all right, I'll do it. But like in my head, I'm like, I don't fucking really. But it's like the same thing you said. It means something to him. But for me now, especially with podcasting, whatever, it has to be black and white. It has to be like, did I enjoy that? You know? Because I trust myself enough now, given the experience. I was a fucking lonely ass fucking bitch writing music. You know what I mean? And like hearing those things and listening or whatever, playing those things, some part of that comes back to me, and I'm just like lonely as fuck on the guitar,
Yeah, I've also like dipped and dabbled with the music. I have like 4 songs that I made, right?
Yeah,
they all suck.
They all do suck really bad. I have like 6 monthly Spotify listeners, so shout out to you 6 people out there. But like, isn't it crazy how like writing music, even though you love to do it or whatever, it's a good process, it's kind of fun, but it's super lonely when podcasting is like almost the opposite, where it's always a group, it's always more than one person. Like no one really, other than like Tim Dillon, right, stares in the camera and talks by himself. It's always like a group of people, and like it's just so much more fun podcasting. That's why I pretty much stopped. I don't even do music no more at all.
Yeah,
it's just so much more fun to do podcasts.
Yeah, I still fuck with music. Like I have Fruit Loops, so I'll just make a beat every now and then. I think I made 3 beats now total for Isimo. So like all the songs you hear on Isimo are songs that I made.
Nice.
The fucking that's my favorite song I ever made. As far as like a beat goes, but like I find it to be joyful still. Like I've made songs over the pandemic that were pretty dope. I made a coronavirus diss track, which was fucking lit.
Fuck coronavirus.
Yeah.
Do you say it in Chinese?
No. I'm not racist, sir. No.
Jeff is.
But
You literally just made the sound.
Yeah.
That was a
Don't
good
try to put
sound.
it
It's a
on me.
good
What the
sound.
fuck?
You laughed.
no, but the songwriting process could be also like just like podcasting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could have the homies over. Like what I did with coronavirus was I dusted off my fucking. I have an 8-channel or 8-input 32-channel fucking mixer thing
Mm-hmm.
that I bought when I was like 18 years old.
Old ass bitch.
Old as fuck, but like half digital, half analog. So it's like all input is like direct to the machine.
Yeah.
And then you could digitally mess with it if you want to, whatever. But it's analog basically.
Yeah.
That's why I loved it so much. Anyways, I recorded a guitar track and I wrote a song to it. It's called Cool. I don't know if it's on my Instagram still, but then it was basically like a cipher. So like it was an instrumental acoustic guitar, and I was fucking crazy during coronavirus, but like anyone that came into my house had to fucking sing a freestyle onto it.
Like right when they walk in the house,
Yeah.
they have to do
Yes.
something over it.
That's dope.
They have to freestyle. So
That's
it's
sick.
it's a 32-channel 8-input thing. So I could have channel on channel, and not a lot of people are coming over though. Keep that in mind. But like Joel would come over. So Joel came over one day, and Josh came through because he lived with me, but like he had to. It was like. It was fun. I sound like a
Good
fucking
time, yeah.
dictator or whatever, but I was like, you got to drop the freestyle, fool. And so like I had that shit on there, and then they fucking did this weird ass freestyle together. That was like they were like making sexual advances at each other, but like by accident in the song. And I was like, this is fucking hilarious,
worked out.
dude.
Yeah.
It was so funny because I had Joel do his first, and he sucks at singing, so it's a lot of him going kind of thing. And then Josh like played off of that, and it sounded like when you played both of them together, it sounded like they were talking to each other because they were talking when they weren't, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, so it could be collaborative and fun.
Right.
But for the most part, when you're learning music or learning comedy, learning podcasting, a lot of it is you on a boat by yourself.
Yeah, I mean when you bring that up, like some of I've definitely had also a lot of fun making music, but it's always been like we rented out a studio, it was 4 or 5 homies or whatever, everybody in the same the same label, and we were just vibing the whole fucking night and shit.
Yeah.
And those nights are still fucking fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's probably one of the best times too. But I don't know, I really like podcasting right now.
Oh yeah, podcasting is I want to say it's the most fun I have as of recently. Like stand up is fun, especially when it goes good, It's like you can't really beat that feeling, For me though, podcasting, especially for moments, like little moments that are the funniest thing in the moment, and then you watch it later, you're like, it wasn't that funny, but like you could try to make it funnier in a way.
Yeah.
All those things, like it's like chiseling down like fucking the entertainer I want to be,
Sometimes you guys mostly record in your room, right?
In the living room, yeah.
And then like you guys don't ever record at Studio M for your pods?
Like we do, but it's a lot of just labor to move everything down there. So like,
yeah.
for the most part, I would like to keep it in the apartment. And I just bought a new desk today too, so I'm trying to like give it more of a fucking studio
shui,
vibe-ish. And hopefully that works out. I don't know, because I just bought the desk today, so I just set it up right before coming here.
Yeah.
And but I love doing the apartment thing. I like having a fucking dirty ass background. I like everything about it.
I like your
Makes
lights.
it feel like raw and real and shit.
That, and also too, when we get better, you can see it on
The growth
screen.
of it, everything.
I like the lights you guys have, those color lights in the background. She looks dope.
Shout out Joel, dude. That's all Joel.
Like LED lights or what?
You guys like it
Yeah.
looks like a lifesaver, right?
Yeah, they're I think they're Newers. I forget. But they're basically like quasar rainbows, but not the quasar rainbows are like a nicer version of that. But yeah, they're just one-sided lights that are tubes and they're battery powered, so you could charge them and then put them wherever you want.
That's sick. And when it comes to your pod, there's 3 of you guys, right? Who's in charge of what?
I do the editing and I basically just wrangle them. They're the monkeys, basically. Just kidding. But like
And he said he's not racist.
for the most part, they like to attack each other. So I try to like keep it held down, Yeah, they're like when Melvin first joined, I had a long talk with him about the chemistry of what I want to happen,
Yeah.
And for the most part, it's just basically that. It's just a straight guy, crazy guy, and one person that's kind of just able to do both. And then also, it's like the triangle offense in a way where all 3 of us know what role is being played.
So who's who? Is Joel the crazy guy who can do both?
No. So like
You're
that's
the crazy guy who do both.
no.
You're the crazy guy who can do both.
Well, the last part is the operative thing. It's like all of us can do all 3 parts.
Oh.
So it's like it's just like for any single thing, that's the one
Utility players.
continuity.
Oh, it is a real triangle offense. then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think this is not something that we talk about, right? This is like meaning me, Joel, and Melvin. Something I did tell Melvin at the time, and it's something that I really want to happen, but I feel like it's natural.
Mhm.
And as far as the chemistry goes, it's like it has to be natural. It can't be something forced.
Right.
And I think I came to that conclusion from trying to force things. My first podcast was about beef. So we each week had to have something that we beef with. You know what I mean? Like I have a beef with cartoons. And I go on this long tangent about why I don't like cartoons.
Mhm.
Trying to mine material for stand-up, basically.
Okay.
And it worked for the most part. Like I'd be able to get jokes from it or whatever. But it was just like not really sustainable in a sense. And also too, I put a fake voice on too. So it's like, I don't know, just being yourself and fucking like trying to make each other laugh.
It kind of goes back to the thing about just like being like actually genuine. Because at some point, if you're trying to put a facade on, at some point it's gonna run out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I fucking hate lying about things.
Yeah.
And I like being realistic about things. That's it. Just like this is where we're at and this is where we were and this is the difference between the two.
Mhm.
It's like, no, things are going great, but really it's like it's not the truth. Like I don't like that shit, dude. You know?
Yeah.
And also, like, your Isimo's not really like a guest centric podcast either, right?
No.
Is that on purpose?
Yeah. I don't want people to tune in for other foods, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and nothing against a guest podcast, but I did a guest podcast.
As we do a guest podcast.
We're like 50-50 right now.
Yeah.
We're half and half.
And I don't like, that's the thing. That's why you don't live in the result. That's like, you live with the results. You don't fucking live by the results. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you can't look at your view numbers and be like, that's what my podcast is, dude. You know? You have to be happy about what you're doing.
Have the love for it.
That too. I mean, but for the most part, what you're creating is not defined by those things that happen after the fact. The creating is making the fucking thing, dude. That's what it just bugs me sometimes when people are very caught or they won't continue to do it because
Very
of those
number hungry.
factors.
Yeah.
That too, yeah. That's just I don't get it. I don't get it.
At what point did you start realizing like you guys have real fans? We have fans too, but I
Yeah.
feel like you guys have hardcore. People are flying out to see you guys.
Mhm.
They're in your comments, every fucking comment. Like you have like staple fans, you know?
You had people fly out.
For the live shows.
What like from where?
Houston and
Oh shit!
well, they didn't fly from Yuma, but shout out Luli. She flew from Houston.
Shout out Luli.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Luli.
The question, so the question, like, how did like the
When did you first start noticing it, and like, what do you think it was? Like,
when I went to Costco this one time, so when it was me, Dominic, and Ryan, they would talk about how they got noticed somewhere, but I was in the fucking lab, dog, like trying to find a vaccine all the time. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to fucking to burn out clips, make this thing bigger. You know, utilize the time that we had. We went to Costco together one day, and I'm not even lying. I would literally be inside all day long and then do DoorDash on the side, right?
that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
I'm
so
like never outside.
yeah, so that's all I would do. Editing, door dashing in some sort of scheduled way. And so before the podcast one day, we went to go get pizza at Costco. And in line to get pizza, this guy just like stops in front of us and he's just like, "Hey, you guys are the ones with the podcast, huh, fool?" I was like, "Why do you talk like that?" No, and
What
he goes,
Costco was it?
It was Alhambra. I used to live right next to the
Okay.
Alhambra Costco. So
Nice.
like literally
HLP.
right there. No,
No.
Alhambra.
ALB.
ALH. What's
Got
it
the
called?
abbreviations down.
And so he was like, "Hey, fool, like you guys are the ones with the podcast, right?" And I didn't know what to do, and I was just like, "You want a picture?" And then he kind of got weirded. I was like, "I mean, yeah, fool, whatever." Like, I swear
like,
to
why
God.
would you stop me? Yeah, like why would
But it was
Jump the gun. You
yeah,
didn't know what to do.
It was awkward as fuck.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
Let me sign
bet.
that picture.
And then like I was like this, and this was like in the picture, you know. And then they left, and I told Dominic and Ryan, I was like, I fucking asked him for a picture, dude. What is the matter with me? But it was like,
you asked him for a picture.
yeah,
You're like,
it was
what
a
the
weird
fuck?
moment.
Can I please have a picture of my first fan, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's this one time me and my girl went to a sushi place, and I don't know if it's to be funny or not. We had a reservation at Cheesecake, right? I don't know why I am like this. This is just how I am, right? Fucking, I need to be in therapy or something. But the Cheesecake whatever fucking wait time was 45 minutes,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And we were craving cheesecake, you know what I mean? And so I was like, fuck it, let's go to the sushi stop I've been there before. Like, let's see if they're still popping. You know what I mean? So we walk down to the sushi stop in case that reservation falls through. Like, if we can get food faster there. And so, like, right when we get there, they sit us down, whatever, and they take forever to get us waters, food. And I was like, man, we might as well wait for the cheesecake, food. Like, and I don't call my girlfriend food, but I was like, dog, you know what I mean?
You could if you
We
want.
call her dog. Like,
Yeah.
I don't call her fool. I call her dog.
call her dog.
Let's go back to the fucking cheesecake.
Come on, perro.
Dog.
And she had got hot tea though. She was drinking hot tea. She took forever my water, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck it, I'll give him $5 and we'll just dip out. So I give the girl $5. I'm like, I think we're just gonna go back outside, whatever. She goes, aren't you that guy with the podcast? And I was like, all of a sudden my mood changed. I was like, I mean, I have a couple podcasts. You know what I mean?
Which one?
Which one? And then she goes, I forget what it's. I was like, Isimo, and she goes, oh yeah, that's what it's called. And then I just left, and
Is
my
this
girlfriend
recent?
was like, oh, all of a sudden you're happy now, huh?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, bitch.
That was recent. I was like, you can stay there. I go to
Hey,
cheesecake,
no worry. Let me go take a picture with her. I'm gonna take a picture with her.
but I didn't ask for the picture.
Yeah, smart. You're a smart man.
And
That was
then
yeah.
Also, too, shout out to this Abby.
Shout out to Abby.
She lives out in Redlands, and the homie John Philippe, shout out, put me on a show out there, and she came out to the show and gave me a plaque that said Isimo Podcast on it, and a little circle plaque that said Gerardo Alarcon with Sonic on it because I'm a huge Sonic fan.
Oh shit.
So
The guy doesn't like cartoons.
no, but Sonic.
But did you like the
It's
live action
different.
Sonics?
That's why I became a fan of Sonic, is the movie.
Did you like
Part
the live
one, part two.
Part 1.
They're both dope.
Yes.
Part two, sick.
Yeah.
I haven't seen part one.
The very first time I met him, I said he looked like Dr. Eggman.
But you got, I was wearing a red LA hat, all red.
He just
white
looked like
Pro
Dr.
Club,
Eggman.
Adidas tracksuit pants, and like some red Adidas. So I had a big ass red beard. So we're chilling at fucking Panama Joe's in fucking 2nd Street, and I'm chilling like, oh, Jeff's here. Jeff comes in a stumbling drunken fool. Oh, what the fuck is Dr. Radman from fucking Sonic, dog?
It's
And then
fucking
everyone
Dr.
starts
Eggman.
laughing. The whole fucking, it felt like the whole fucking club or bar was laughing at me, dog. So
Yeah.
I'm like, who's that? And then they looked it up and they showed me a picture. I'm like, damn, dog, dude, they look like that
That's
fool,
crazy.
dog. Fuck.
They don't even say Robotnik. They called you Eggman.
I called him Eggman.
That becomes a fat joke, dude. You better.
It is a fat joke.
Duh. What the fuck you meant? That's
You can
that's
say
what I meant.
Robotnik. You can call him smart.
No, Dr. Eggman.
It's a piece of shit.
That's Dr. Eggman. So, did you become autistic before or after you were sober? Or have you always been autistic?
I'm not autistic.
This seems, you have autistic vibes.
How?
Just very just intricate about a little bit of everything.
Oh, I care.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
yeah,
That's
in a
what-
way.
Jeff doesn't like to care about things.
Yeah, no, I
And
don't.
then
in
you
a
don't
way.
care about him, he doesn't like you.
I'm not the kind of guy that goes to a party and whips my dick out, dude.
Me neither. I don't have a lot of
You're
dick to
giving
whip
out-
out.
Yes, you are.
I don't have a lot of dick to whip out.
You're giving whip my dick out vibes. dude.
I
Facts.
no, that's embarrassing. I wouldn't do that.
No, I'm just very scheduled and fucking trained, I guess.
I mean, also just that one little strand of hair the whole time has
Yeah.
just been up there, just looking like an autistic strand of hair.
there's a lot of strands of hair.
Nah, there's just one over there that's sitting there like Coraline. It's just fucking posted up.
Yep. Nah.
He's mad,
No,
dog. He's mad because you're funnier than him. You're more focused than him.
Yeah.
He just has longer hair than you. That's it. But if you were to straighten it out, it would be longer than yours.
He's just mad because he has no hair.
I'm bald.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, that's why
When
he
did you
wears
find
hats
out?
every time.
I've been shaving my head since forever.
Okay, so you don't know for sure.
No, my hairline's probably like right
No,
here.
he bald now.
Oh, okay.
He bald now.
Have you ever tried to keep the hairline?
Yeah.
And it's just not working out, huh?
It's a crazy comb over, and I'm just too young to have that kind of look.
Oh.
But let me tell you, as soon as I get a fat check, I'm going to go get my shit done.
He gonna get the LeBron.
transplants?
Get the
Yeah,
hair
like
transplant.
Tyga.
He gonna get the LeBron.
Dude, Tyga has braids now, dog. LeBron's a bad example because that shit don't work for him.
You could take some of the skin from my thighs, dude. I got hair down there like a motherfucker.
Take it, dog. Whatever you got.
Are we gonna
I'll take
are we gonna
whatever
do
you
the
got.
belly pod?
The
We're
what?
gonna do the belly pod for the end of it.
What's that?
Oh, show our bellies?
Show our bellies.
I don't know. You
No,
called me autistic, fool. I'm kind of
weird,
offended.
dog.
Are you
You should
not?
be, dog. You should be offended.
I have ADHD. It's the same thing. We're both on the spectrum.
I don't know about that. I know the spectrum's big, fool, but
Jeff's just retarded, dog.
there's
That's the spectrum.
there's not enough place for the both of us.
That's the
Or what is
spectrum.
that? Clint Eastwood
Yeah,
thing?
you see autism. He couldn't even say it.
It's not big enough for the both of us.
The spectrum's not big enough for the two of us.
Yeah, dog. But I appreciate you coming, dog. Appreciate you coming
Yeah,
to
no
the pod
problem.
and shit.
Sorry I was texting. This fool's going to sign me up for the open mic.
No, you're good. Take
Where
your
at?
time. This is an unprofessional podcast.
Covina.
Covina.
Cochina.
Cochina.
Yeah, you go everywhere, huh? You go anywhere. to
Yeah, and I
fucking
don't even
perform.
have a car. I'm trying to get a car right now.
Damn, how'd you get here?
Fucking, my arms are tired, fool. Just kidding. No, I had to fucking jack out the guy that was driving me here.
suck
What's
his
it called? No,
That's the guy
my
from Best Buy.
I got my girlfriend's car, a Prius.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gangster, dog. You gotta do what you gotta do. You know?
Yeah, she has a grip of cars, so I'm like, let me get one. She's like,
why does she have so many cars?
She threw the keys at me like that. She's like,
You go peasants.
yeah. I don't know. She's killing it, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, just kidding.
I think.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? Like, well, for me, what I've noticed, like, someone who's like, not autistic, but like artistic or like any type of art form, whether it's like podcasting or comedy or music, whatever it is, right? You gotta have someone like your opposite has to be kind of like your better half has to be the opposite of you.
Yeah.
You can't have two fucking crazy comedians be together, dog.
Oh,
it
yeah.
will never work.
Yeah, that's like my girlfriend is very, very private.
What does
Mine
she
too.
do, like, vaguely, if you don't mind me asking?
She works.
Like, corporate type shit?
Very
like-
vague.
No, I mean, he didn't answer the question. I was very vaguely. She works.
She has a job.
All right. She
but
has a job and makes money.
I'm very public, obviously, and she's
yeah.
very private.
Yeah.
You know, like when she first, like the way we met was through an Instagram DM. She saw one of my clips from Josh Rardo way back when.
Oh, she DM'd you?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
about there's this clip that kind of went viral. Like I didn't really know what viral was until I started Isimo, but like it had like 49K, and I was like, what on TikTok, and it was about me talking about the Mexican whistle, and then she
That was
messaged me.
smooth as fuck. That was
Yeah.
a sick ass whistle. Do it again.
You just like
That was so sick.
my grandpa taught me. This is basically what the clip was. It's just somebody's like,
Yeah, that was
liking
sick as
my
fuck. That was so good. I was very impressed.
So
That
cool.
was sick as
I
fuck.
need the whistle guy in my life.
whistle. And so she DM'd me off some random account, like her account or
She was
whatever.
like, you can eat pussy.
But there was no profile picture. There was no pictures on her profile.
Yeah.
And I was like, who this? Well, she messaged me, whatever she said. And I literally just said, who this? Because I was like, it's one of my friends fucking with me. You know what I mean?
It just looks sketch.
And so long story short, she shared like a couple stories from the night before. Like, you know how people tag you in stories and you can share it or whatever. So she did that for a couple stories from the night before. And I was like, oh, I hope it's the girl with the glasses because the other two are fat as fuck. You know what I mean?
That's Mo's type.
And then
no, that's not my type.
and then like the next one was like even more ambiguous because there was more fat chicks. I'm just kidding. There was like
Bunch of fat bitches
it was
everywhere.
Still the girl with the glasses, and I was
shout
like,
out to the gorditas. They put in work.
yeah. This is also a joke. And then so like I was like, all right, well, she was like, who am I in the stories? I was like, you're the girl with the glasses. And she's like, oh my god, you're a creep. How'd you know? I'm like, you're the one fucking DMing me from a private account. Dog. What are you talking about, creep?
And now you're borrowing her car.
Yeah. And then then we met up at In-N-Out and started dating. But like she's so private, she still has a fucking nobody knows what her Instagram is except for like close homies of mine.
Yeah.
My girl too. My girl has no posts. Like she barely has a profile picture.
Yeah.
She's going to school to be a doctor. It's like the complete opposite of my shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. Like
Yeah.
for it to work out.
I it's working so far, so it's like I love her, dude. And she's like fucking she's sick as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she got a lot of ideas for the podcast and stuff, which is helpful.
Nice.
And I can kind of dilute them into like something that I would do, but I just couldn't tap into that brain. You know what I mean? It's shit like that is like really cool. You know?
last 60 seconds before we go. Like, what are your thoughts on like cussing or
It's like
saying
abortion.
cussing or vulgar jokes on the podcast for YouTube or like TikTok censorship and shit like that?
It's whack. I think it's whack, but it is what it is. I've done it before where I have another really successful thing called 10 Minutes of Shab, and that thankfully gets monetized every week, so we're able to make money off of that shit. So I did edit one episode where I cut out all the cussing, and it was just like labor intensive, dude. It's just fucking stupid. And I think it's whack. Like, dude, this week's episode got demonetized and then monetized 2 days later.
And you already lost all your initial
Yeah,
views.
it's like all the views are gone. It's like it's a fucked up way to like not let you make a living off of this.
Yeah.
So
But it is what it is. I supplement income at different places.
before we get out of here, 10 seconds, give them a shout out where to find you.
GELOLDO. You haven't seen it yet?
Instagram. No,
Everyone else has
Tell
it.
the
It's
people.
all good. Just play. It's a joke. It's a joke.